Welcome. It's Time Warner Cable's local edition. I'm Brad Pomerance, and we are joined today by Gary Kovacic. He is the outgoing mayor of the City of Arcadia. Congratulations on a very successful tenure. This is your second set of 2 4-year terms. In Arcadia, you can serve for 2 terms of 4 years, sit out 2 years, then run again. It's the second time you've done that. Talk to me about that system. How has it worked in Arcadia?
Well, I think it's worked well. If your goal was to have totally new candidates show up every election, it doesn't serve that purpose. We just completed an election in Arcadia, 6 candidates for 2 seats, and 3 of the candidates were former mayors. But we did have some new folks running. It allows the opportunity for new people to get involved, but it also sometimes stops your momentum as a council member.
Right, and one could argue it's somewhat artificial. I mean, you are served for 8 years and then you're gone for 2 and then you run again if you'd like. I'm not really sure what that 2-year gap is supposed to do.
Yeah, I'm not either. It was adopted way before I even became interested in local politics. I think it was people wanted term limits, but they didn't want the Uber term limits.
Right.
So they wanted the ability for people to come back. One problem I see is that it gives a lot of power to staff. The institutional memory sometimes disappears when folks are termed out.
And we know in Sacramento there was a very draconian term limit system that ultimately the voters who had been very positive on term limits turned against, and now we have a different term limit system. What's happening in Arcadia? Are there rumblings about whether they want to change the term limit system?
We've had people say that the ultimate term limit is the election.
One could argue.
And if the voter doesn't want the person in office, vote that person out. So there have been rumblings about just eliminating the policy. I guess to a certain extent it sounds good that we have term limits, but it also is crafted in such a way that a candidate can come back after a 2-year hiatus.
Right, so I'm just wondering if you get the benefit of new blood. I guess ultimately you can get that new blood, and if you wait 2 years, you wouldn't run against someone that took your seat, arguably, but who knows in terms of timing. You also recently had that election, like you said, it was all mail-in.
Yes.
All mail-in ballot.
Yes.
Oregon, I think, does that as a state completely.
They do.
How'd it go in Arcadia, or how has it gone?
This is about the 3rd time we've tried it. It was advertised as being less costly and increasing voter turnout.
Was it less costly?
It is less costly.
Did it increase voter turnout?
It's hard to say.
Okay.
This last election had a higher turnout of voters, but there were some controversial issues involved in the election. On average, I think the turnout's been about the same.
What I'm wondering is, has Arcadia thought about aligning its municipal elections in such a way that it appears on a primary ballot or a general election ballot, so it's consolidated and people are going to vote for more issues than just one?
That's been suggested. As a city, we like to be unique and we like to have our own election cycle. If we had to do that, we would have to shift at least for the existing.
Sure, for that one cycle.
For that one
but
cycle.
Couldn't one argue then you'd see a greater voter turnout? I presume it would be less costly if you can consolidate with the county, no?
Yeah. No, I think that's something worth considering. Also, whether we should have districts in a city like Arcadia. Those are all things that are worth considering.
How large is Arcadia?
58,000 people.
And what about
17 square miles?
Because I'm sure you know many of your sister cities have been sued for lack of districts.
Right, yeah.
Are there rumblings about that in
We've
Arcadia?
never received rumblings. We are sort of a fully integrated city. There are not blocks in the city as far
as in terms of ethnicities.
Exactly.
I want to congratulate you on a very successful tenure as a council member of Arcadia. Maybe we'll see you in 2 years?
Maybe.
Okay.
And it's always great hanging out with you.
His name is Gary Kovacic, outgoing mayor of the City of Arcadia. My name is Brad Pomerance. It's Time Warner Cable's local edition.